Today we're talking about false colors. I'm Pierre from Weeby Creators, bringing you the best tips, tricks and reviews, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. So today we're doing something very short and quick. We're talking about false colors. What it is, how to use it and why it exists. Believe it or not, this monitor next to me is not broken. It's on a setting called false color. False color, much like waveforms and histograms, are a way that we can check the exposure on our image. And it's by far my favorite method of doing so. All of the methods for checking your exposure works a bit differently. Histograms give you about a little mountain range showing you the overall exposure of your image. Waveforms, whether it's singular, vector scope or parade, can see different RGB values across a horizontal line. But false color gives you exposure readouts of your image exactly. Exposure in false color is generally measured in IRE, another unit of measurement of exposure going from 0 to 100. 0 would be clipped out black and 100 would be clipped out white, and then everything in the middle is somewhere in between. The benefit with false color is that it gives you a visual representation of each of those percentages, represented by each color, so you know exactly what is in what form of exposure. Now, as filmmakers, we generally want to expose for skin tones. And as we know, higher end cameras has wider dynamic range, meaning we can get more things exposed properly. But if you're working with cameras with limited dynamic range or you're not shooting in RAW, making sure that you have your exposure set to the skin of the face in your shot is really important. And the key in this monitor lets us know what color represents what. So in this case, you would see that on the key on the fueled monitor, it goes from bright pink, which is completely underexposed, all the way up to bright red, which would be completely overexposed. Now, some of the monitors on the market does give you the option to customize the value of your IRE, so you can then know which colors you are looking for. But for most monitors, it is going to look something like this. The sweet spot to where we want to set our exposure is going to be somewhere between 60 and 75 IRE range, which is kinda in that neutral 50 or just above it, measured here in pink, gray or green colors. And if you look at the image of where I am in the frame, it's living in that green, gray and pink, which means we do have a really good exposure. Now, if we go under exposure, like if I turn off my key light, you can see that the color values on the monitor has changed. So you can see now on the monitor that the blue values are starting to show, and that normally means that we are completely underexposed but not totally clipped out yet. So now that I'm completely underexposed by turning off my light, you can see that my monitor is registering a lot of that deep dark blue and also maybe a little bit of purple, meaning that there is only a little bit of color information left. False color is such a valuable exposure tool because we don't have to guess based on the camera that we are using, or guess based on the waveform or histogram exactly what our exposure is. And when you are shooting outside, it's really easy to see flat imagery like this and understand whether or not we are nailing our exposure. Every camera monitor is going to be a little bit different on where you turn your false color on and off. So for the fueled monitor, I have a button on top that is programmed to switch the false colors on and off, so it's quick and easy just like that. And it makes getting your exposure or nailing it so much easier than many of the other exposure tools available to us. But if you don't know what you're looking at, it can be a bit intimidating. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, do me a favor and give this video a like. And if you want to see more stuff like this, hit subscribe. And remember, stay creative.